What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. For right now, we're gonna pull off this head off of my K24 all-wheel drive Civic, and we're gonna see what kind of random things we find in there. Ready? First time the head's been off this thing in a year. Yep. Oh, wow. What do you see here? What do you see? Pull that gasket.
Buddy.
How's it doing? Maybe right, does that look like maybe a little
wash
in between? But I don't know. We're gonna, this one might have to go down.
You gotta like get these units off at the same time, buddy.
Yep. Same.
Ready? You gotta be.
Well, it's really crooked right now.
You gotta be careful.
Yeah, Blake will come and show you how to do it. How do you think that block guard's doing in there?
How do you think that cylinder's doing over there?
I think they're all doing it. What do you think is that? What is that right there? Look at my piston to wall clearance. It's
boost, buddy.
It's nice and loose for the boost.
Loose for the boost.
Loose for the boost.
Yeah,
the cylinder walls though, they have only a couple little things in there, but you know.
This motor smells great.
It really does. It smells like purple. It smells like grape drink. How's that gasket doing? Does it look like it blew anywhere? Does it look like warped? Maybe it looks like it, I don't know. Maybe in between here a little bit, which would make sense, because I mean, this is a, it's not an O-ringed block. This is a 100% stock sleeve. It's actually overbored a little bit. These are actually 0.5 mil over pistons and a stock K24 bore with a tapped in block guard. So basically we had the machine shop tap in the block guard, and then he bored the cylinders after that for these are the JE Ultra Series pistons. So valve stem issues, valve stem seals. So it's burning a little bit of oil, but overall it's not bad. It doesn't even push any, doesn't even really breathe in the catch can after a pass. Pull the cylinder head off. I would like to do valve stem seals. My machine shop guy, he actually retired, I think.
He quit us.
Yeah, he quit. Like Sean basically got the last pair of cylinder heads done out of his shop. But this engine's doing great. Honestly, I've been beating the crap out of it. It looks like brand new on the inside of it.
Not even scored.
Not even scored. Well, I mean, at that time, there's only a couple little things, but they're like, you can't feel anything. Like,
look at the, like, is that from heat? Like, look at the discoloration.
Like, it feels great.
Look at the, like, see the discoloration around there? That's janky.
Oh, I just touched the head stud.
Oh, buddy.
With my, oh, you touched it too.
That one's got to be replaced. That one's got to be replaced.
Yep, these are the L19 head studs.
You can replace this one too.
But over here in the, what is it, right here? Check this out. Slap this thing back on.
Go ahead, huh?
K24 JE Pro Seal head gasket in stock, ready to go.
Brand new.
Ready to, I've actually bought that thing months ago. And then how many times is this thing?
Well,
give us an update.
Where do I start?
Well, so you messed with it, then Dave come over and he messed with it.
And it was still, basically you had to give it everything you had with a clutch disc on the shaft to spin it. So we had it over shimmed. Too many shims, took a shim out, spins freely now. So there was a small issue, and you know, keep in mind I'm not a transmission guru. I just work here. So basically, I can't really show you guys right now, but so inside there.
So first through fourth was fine.
Fourth was fine. Sixth and reverse, nothing. There's a fifth gear cuff, so there's no fifth gear, but nothing. So what I chalked that up to being the issue is that there's four shifting antlers on there.
Okay. But over here there's only 3.
Oh, there's only 3. So basically, these are the shift forks that were in the transmission that were in the car, and it was a 6-speed, correct?
Yeah.
So I don't know what the difference is, but basically there's only 3 in that one, and this little guy right here, whatever it decides it likes to do, definitely I know it goes up against the sensor for the reverse, but it's basically stationary on that other shift fork, and there's only one of these. So when you try to put the transmission in reverse or 6, it's basically up above these, and it's not catching anything when you rotate the shift mechanism. So because there's only 3 of these guys, now there's going to be 4.
Yeah.
After this.
So we were just missing a fork for something. And sometimes, you know, if you ever try to like eat a salad and all you have is a spoon, you don't really get much of the salad. Yeah, exactly. So we need to add another fork so we could eat a little bit of salad. Yeah. Then we'll be doing great. This transmission, you are seriously going to be an expert at this.
Yeah, I've had it apart and back together about 15 times, so like no bull crap. So because I was trying different things with it after Dave messed with it, and I was putting it together without RTV so I could see, you know, have it mashed together, bolt it down, see how it felt, see how it spun, make sure there's no shaft play, all that stuff. So yeah, here we go.
But now we're going to be doing great.
Yeah. Well, we've been doing great, but we're going to be doing better.
We're going to be doing. So it is Tuesday right now. drag strip is open this Friday. We're gonna get this thing going. We're gonna turbo Sean's Ranger. My Ranger is it lost compression on one cylinder completely. Zero compression on my Ranger. But Blake got the cylinder. Well, Blake basically got everything taken apart for this thing today. So now I think all we need to do is actually just clean everything up and stick the head gasket back on it. I'm just gonna run with those valve stem seals for now. It only smoked when it got like really hot and it was idling. Other than that, it was fine. Didn't really go through oil or anything like that, so I think it's okay. I think we'll be fine. I think under boost it's okay. Unless we drop the cylinder head off at somebody and have them do some valve stem seals. I might need to call some people. Maybe take it somewhere. I just need new valve stem seals because those ones just leak. And you can just tell because you look in the intake or the exhaust and you can see some oil. Yeah, look. You look right here. Looks oily. You look right there. It looks a little oily. So valve stem seals need some help. The head gasket on here, but there was a little bit of a spot right here, but then you could also see, I don't know how well this is gonna show up on the camera. Let me see, get her to zoom. Let's check this out. Right here, there's like a little crack, which that looks like either some heat or some exhaust gases was going into the chamber and kind of pressurizing it, because that thing is basically bent down and cracked, or pushed up and cracked. So what I did is I took the cylinder heads to machine shop. They decked it. They put the new valve stem seals in it. We actually found another machine shop, and I sent it to them. He basically did an overnight turnaround on it for me. Told him we were trying to go to the track on Friday, which right now it's Thursday at like almost 4 o'clock, and the freaking head still needs to go back on this thing. Transmission's still apart. We still need to do intercooler piping and stuff for the front mount. Got a lot of things to do. Sean's messing with his Ranger just because he got tired of that transmission, so we're going to try to take his Ranger to the track. My Ranger is it's not that healthy anymore, so we got a lot of things going on, but overall I just want to get this transmission figured out, because once the transmission's figured out, it's easy. We just, all right, we bolt the head back on it, we clean all the things, bolt the engine and the transmission together, stick it in the car, then we make some intercooler piping, we fire it up, we make sure the tune's on it,
And then we go ahead.
and then we go right ahead and we go to the track, and I'm going to try to run 8 this year. That's 8 before the end of the year. That's what I want to do. I want to run freaking 8 probably.
That'd be great.
Well, if we can just get this thing figured out, and then we'll just go ahead. So Sean could probably take this thing apart in his sleep now.
Yeah, blindfolded probably.
I don't know if that's a good thing. We're figuring it out.
Yeah,
it's a good. I'm over here messing with the K24 bottom end. So I'm gonna go ahead. I cleaned up the mating surface just with a little Scotch-Brite. Got it all brake cleaned up, ready to go. We got that JE Pro Seal head gas on here. We got these L19 head studs that I touched a long time ago. They might crumble and break, or they might be fine, depending on who's commenting on the video at the time. We have the fresh cylinder head from the machine shop, and then we have these Skunk 2. These are the Tuner Series Stage 3 cams. So these are like a 278. Pretty aggressive cam compared to the stock K24 camshafts. Because that's pretty much what we had in here before. I think those ones maybe like 248s or something like that, or maybe they're 220. I don't even know what they are. Up until now, this has had the stock K24 A2 camshafts. Yeah, it's pretty simple setup. It's, you know, pistons and rods, a tapped in block guard. If you could see that in there, just a block guard tapped in there. Valve springs retainer, stock port head, stock cams, Type S pump. Pretty much it. Put them back together. We're gonna see what it does. Yeah. Alright guys, so some bad news. I was getting ready to put the head on it, and I was looking at the valves, and like I said, that we went to a different machine shop, and he did a valve, he didn't do a valve job on it, but
He put valve seals on it.
He put valve stem seals, so he had the valves out, and I don't know if probably something,
I don't know.
maybe, I don't know. I mean, I did, like, I did put a rush on him to do it, but maybe like his machine or something, like, I don't know, but look at this thing. That is definitely a bent valve. It's not a little bent either. Like, because I was just looking at it, everything looked good, and then I seen that one, and I said, "Whoa, buddy!" Yeah. I said, "We need to fix that before we put this thing back together." So, I don't know. These are Skunk 2 valves, aftermarket valves, because I had issues with these are flat top ones too. So these are the flat top valves. So they bump the compression a little bit, but I think they're supposed to be a little bit stronger, plus they're a little bit lighter, or they're a little bit more resistant to high RPM stuff, whereas the stock ones, I stretched one. Stuff, yeah. I stretched a stock one, and freaking it didn't have a good time. So I don't know what to do. We could put a stock valve in it, but then I have a freaking stock valve in it. You know, I mean, it would work. Yeah. Like, technically it would work, but otherwise, where am I going to get one of these by tomorrow? Because that's the issue. Dang it.
how it goes, but it's the way she goes.
I don't know if we're gonna be running an 8 tomorrow unless I want to put a stock cylinder head on it, but like that's no fun. Like 38 pounds of boost aren't gonna like stock valve springs with the RPM and everything.
Yeah.
So
Buck 17.
yep. All right, so try 17. It's done.
It is done.
What happened?
It's only been about 2 weeks since we had this thing apart. So we figured out we had the cuff, the 5th gear cuff. We had it installed upside down. So on the
Well, there's probably a diagram right here.
yeah. So basically, one of these basically floats. This is like a floating spacer, floating bushing, and this is a flange bushing. So it goes in the cuff one way. We had the cuff in upside down. So basically, what was happening was the shift fork wasn't able to go all the way down into the hole that it sits in, so they wouldn't all line up to get the shifter in place. It was giving me hell, but I figured it out. We took the tranny back apart again, pulled the cuff off, flipped it around. Now it's smooth as butter. Look at that. Look at that. Smooth.
Yep.
It's shimmed nice and it's shimmed correctly. There's no shaft play. Everything turns freely. It goes in reverse. Goes into 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. All the gears just fine. So it's ready to go.
So the transmission is ready to go, and then now we're pretty much just waiting on the cylinder head.
Yep.
So like I said, we got it decked from the machine shop, and then I don't even know. I don't know what happened with the valve.
Where's the
but
vent valve
I
at?
ended up ordering some Ferrea valves, because I think to order the Skunk 2 ones, I would have had to order the whole set of intakes and exhaust just to use one, whereas the Ferrea I was able to order just the exhaust.
Yeah.
So got a new flat top valve, basically the same exact one. I do have the full set of the Ferrea ones, but I'm just going to use this one for now. Just put that one in there.
Yeah, these are the intake one.
Intake.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was the intake one that bent. You can see it's the 36 mil one. This is a TSX head. It's the RBB head. So it already has 1 millimeter oversized intake valves, how it is. So yeah, we're going to start assembling the cylinder head now. I guess all we have to do is put the valve spring in there, maybe lap that in with a little bit of valve compound, and then the engine is pretty much ready to go. We got the L19s ready to go. I got the deck all pretty much prepped, and literally I was going to set the cylinder head on it before we figured out that issue, but now we're actually should be good to go. So just need to stick that on, put the keepers and stuff in the retainers with the valve springs, and we should probably be just fine.
Yeah.
Just fine.
Get this thing back together. Finally.
Ready to rip. So get the cylinder head back on it, and then we can put the transmission on it, and then we could stick this thing back up in the chassis, and then hopefully take it to the track this weekend, and then run an 8-second pass for the first time in ever, probably. So pretty excited to get this thing back together. It's been a while. All right, so we got the new valve installed over here, and a quick way to check and see if you actually have a leak in a cylinder head is actually go ahead and spray a little bit of like brake fluid or something in the cylinder.
Not brake fluid probably, but
Brake cleaner.
Look in there. There's some chips, buddy.
Oh yeah, there is some chips. I was concerned about chips, and then here they are. Exhaust valve on this top left is actually leaking a little bit, so we'll probably pull it out, lap it real quick. We got some valve lapping compound, so we'll do that. We'll check some of the other ones. Oh wow. So we have another one over here. You can see, you blow it away. She's leaking, so we got that one, and then we'll probably just put a new valve in that one, and then we'll just lap that one in.
You stop. Ready? Imagine putting this back
You got
together.
the magnet? Okay.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun to put back together. All right, go ahead. Yeah, ouch. Yeah, how you doing, Sean?
Mm-hmm. What's really going on here?
Nothing's holding the valve up.
Oh.
Weld it shut with us.
So, one of the valves that we're just gonna lap in. I don't know if like when I pulled the engine apart, I did it at top dead center, and maybe when I unloosened the cams, maybe it went, or I took the timing off. But I still wouldn't assume that would bend the valve. But I mean, I guess if the cam was down, if the cam thumped over, these are pretty heavy valve springs. If it like used the ramp of the other cam to like push it down, and the head was still bolted on.
So they're just barely bent
It's
right
barely,
here, right?
barely
at the
bent.
end?
So this intake valve or this exhaust valve is actually bent too.
Yeah.
So we had this other intake valve over here, had a slight bend, which was on the end, and then on this one. So these are kind of those opposite. Well, I guess this one too. It's just weird. I just don't get how they would both be bent. But yeah, this one's definitely bent. I mean, we pulled it out, we stuck it in the drill, and just rotating it around, it just has like a slight little bend to it. So now we need basically at least one more exhaust valve, but if we're gonna do that, I already have a full set of intake valves. We might as well just get a whole brand new set of exhaust valves to put this thing in. But it's Wednesday, I could overnight some valves.
Yeah.
Guess I need to get on the computer. Great. Overnight parts, here they are, bud. We got them. Wow. Yeah, no, I was planning on it. All right, guys. So this is our what is this? The third overnight order that we've done to get the Civic ready for the track, and this is basically the third week. So we have valves, and then we also have brake lines and pads, but that is for the Z, which you guys will see that later. And then we also have another overnight package. This is from another warehouse too. So this is MotionAuto Performance. We're doing great over here. There it is. So we got pads, we got lines, we have some fluid showing up over here in a little bit, and we're gonna rip this thing. But hey, this is the biggest thing that we needed right here. Was the freaking exhaust valves, on account of that random bent one. So now we have something to do today. Yesterday, pretty much ran out of things to do, but Civic track. It is 11 o'clock. In the morning on Thursday, and we're going to try to have this thing ready to take to the track at, let's say, about 5 p.m. on Friday. But we're also going to take the other things to the road course, which you guys haven't seen yet. Here we go. All right, so we're getting ready to lap the valve. I think I already did this one a little bit yesterday, but Sean's going to go ahead and... And then basically just kind of grinds them together with a little bit of, it's like toothpaste with sandpaper in it, or with like sand in it, just so it kind of gives it a nice uniform, you know, kind of blends them together. So do the same with that bottom exhaust valve right there. That was the only one we had to replace. So now we thought about doing all of them at the same time, but then we would kind of have to lap them all. We don't have the right tools. It was kind of a pain to get that exhaust one out anyhow. So we're just gonna put that one in. All the other ones were fine, and the valves pretty much look like the same exact ones, so I don't really think there should be too big of an issue. Okay, guys, we're making some progress. Sean got the cylinder head on the engine, ready to go. Got all the VTEC stuff, just chilling. You got those springs in there too, yep. Ready to rip. And then now, got these cams. So these are the stock K24 A2 cams, and then these, oh, look at that ramp. Like, those actually look pretty impressive right there. But then you look at these. Those are some big boys. So these are the Skunk 2 Stage 3 tuner cams. So we're putting these bad boys in there. I'm really curious to see how they respond. It might need some tuning, it might need some other stuff, but overall, I'm just excited to see what this thing freaking does. All right, guys, so the engine is officially back together. I went ahead and did a quick valve lash, just kind of double checked them. Probably have to reset it when it's a little bit hot. For now, I just wanted to get them close, so that way we can get it started. The ones that we did the valves on, they were a little bit tight. One was loose and one was tight. It is so freaking close. Thursday night at 8 o'clock. Man, with these new cams that are in here and the new setup and the new intercooler and all that other stuff, and with what we're trying to do with the other cars tomorrow, we're planning on taking 2 cars to the road course. I just don't want to chance it. I think, you know, the goal for this year was to run an 8-second pass, and there is more days. So tomorrow night, probably not gonna be the night, but there is a event on, I think it's the next weekend or the weekend after that, the Halloween drag, which is actually a bigger event where I could actually take this next week and get this whole setup dialed in, so I could, you know, get this in there, get the intercooler piping fabricated, everything how we want, just make it dialed in, take it up to the dyno and actually have it, you know, kind of professionally tuned or whatever with the new setup on it, and see how much power it makes on there, see if we could get the turbo to spool better, you know, just play with some stuff and actually get the setup more dialed in, other than just like slapping it back together tonight to run to the track tomorrow when it's not even like a big like points race or anything like that. It's pretty much just to go get a time, and we could do that next weekend and make sure that the setup is super dialed, so that way we don't hurt anything, we're not rushing anything. I think I'm just gonna be more comfortable with that. I'm trying not to do as much of the last minute stuff, as we speak of doing a bunch of last minute stuff over here. I'm doing a bunch of like last minute crap right there, trying to get 2 cars ready for the road course tomorrow. So yeah, I think we're just gonna take the guys and we're gonna have fun in those cars, and then we're just gonna dial in this thing this next week. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In the last video with the Civic, we fought with the engine, we fought with the transmission, we fought with the cylinder head and the valves. Me and Sean almost fought.
Yeah, a few times actually.
No, actually,
we
we
actually
typically don't. We typically don't fight.
I wouldn't hurt my buddy.
He knows I'd put a
You
whooping
would,
on him.
yeah.
So, you know, I don't want
I don't want
to.
to get hurt, so I'll just.
I don't want to have any sort
be
of
courteous to you, buddy.
You know, technically, like I'm the boss, so I can't be doing that. I can't be whooping on the employees, but you know. Anyhow, the engine is completely together. We have all the timing stuff in it. We have the new valves. We have the new Skunk 2 tuner stage 3 cams in this thing. We have the transmission. It's finally shimmed properly.
Look at this, buddy. Look at that.
It actually
no movement, shin great, all the gear shifts, reverse works, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Everything does is what it's supposed to do. So.
And so now we basically just get it bolted together, and then we get to put it in the car.
Fabricate all the new intercooler piping and stuff. Figure out what we're gonna do with that, and then rip this thing. Hopefully this weekend. Yeah.
So today is Tuesday now, which is really cool because I would like. There's an event on Saturday here at our local track, which is called the Halloween Drags, and so it's not at night. So the track should have some good temp in it, and then we'll have a big intercooler on this thing. So this thing won't have a whole lot of intercooler IET temp in it. They'll have big.
Last time what were they, like 200 at
230.
230. That's ridiculous for air temp.
Yeah, basically in this video we're gonna get this and that together. We're gonna put it in there, and then we're gonna put the intercooler in it. We're gonna start it. We're gonna run it and drive it, and then hopefully this week I would like to take it to the dyno and actually get it like more dialed in. And that's what's cool about it being Tuesday, not
Thursday night.
not Saturday morning at 10 in the morning.
Trying to go to the racetrack today like this, like we typically do. So.
Yeah.
Now
So
assuming everything goes as planned with this whole entire thing, it hasn't up to this point. It hasn't gone as planned at all. It's kind of been screwing us around big time, but hopefully everything else goes smooth.
hopefully today it's done doing that, because I'm done with that too.
Yeah,
I don't like
too.
that. So
Yep.
all right, well, let's get this thing together and plow it in there. Guys, so Sean and Blake got the engine back in the Civic. How's it? How's it doing? Doing really great. So then right here, normally there's a little piece. We went ahead and we cut that off so the intake manifold could just go on and off. So Blake is actually over here swapping the injectors out of this old intake manifold. So this is what they call the RBC manifold. It was actually ported, and I got a 70 millimeter throttle body. I got an adapter on it, and then this thing's been ported to like 70 mils. Really, really nice throttle body or intake manifold. Makes a lot of power for, you know, what it is, but the issue is now that we're going with that big front mount intercooler, we need a center feed manifold, because this is kind of, you know, it's on the same outlet as the turbo side. So turbo outlet comes right here, intake manifold right here. Now we're going to do the center feed manifold right down there, and with that really big intercooler. So I think what Sean's going to go ahead and start messing with next is actually mounting the intercooler officially on here. And yeah, what do you think about that?
Go ahead.
Mount the intercooler, put the turbo on it,
Probably put the turbo on first.
and then we're probably gonna be ready to rip here in a little bit. So we could probably do a little mock-up with this thing.
Hey, can you order some plugs for this?
Yep, some plugs. You think O'Reilly's has some of those, or do you think Home Depot? Alright guys, so as you've seen in the time lapse, Sean went ahead and got this thing pretty set in there. So with this intercooler, you can see we had to use these big old bolts right here on the top, and kind of a little spacer to sandwich in this radiator mount. So the interesting thing about this whole setup is that the radiator actually mounts to the back of the intercooler, and then this thing has a built-in fan shroud right on it. So you can see now we are converting to 16 and fittings, or 16AN fittings. And so right now, I think, you know, I figured that we would have a little bit more room. So I need to get probably a 30-degree angle. They make a 30-degree, and then over here on the bottom, there's a this one. We could probably get away with that, but I'll probably order a 45 for that one. And then I thought we were gonna have more room right here, so I ordered two 45-degree 3.5-inch couplers. Well, I think we'll use one of them, but then I think what we actually need is a 90-degree 3.5-inch coupler. So
Get 290s.
two of them, and I'm gonna go broke and just freaking vibrant fittings and stuff for this thing. But yeah, I think a 90 will be good. And then probably another 90. I think the 45 will go straight into the 90 and we'll be okay.
We can shorten it. And then
Basically, all we're gonna have to do is just put a little piece of pipe in there just to clamp. Oh, I should order clamps too.
Yeah, I don't think
Some
we
of
have
the T-bolt clamps.
any decent big ones.
So, yeah, this is just this is one of those things. I'm glad that we didn't do this the day before, and like before the event.
It's always more work than we think it's going to be. That's
Yeah.
just how it goes. Especially with stuff like this, obviously. You know, it's not a simple, you know, run-of-the-mill like factory stock.
But now I feel like it's coming together really good. Yeah. So we've got the really big intercooler, 6-inch intercooler, the forward-facing or the center feed manifold. We get the little radiator because, you know, with run-in just drag passes, we don't need a giant full-size radiator. It's not like we're on the road course with this thing yet, because we've been talking about that now.
We'll just spray it.
But yeah, we got the big O turbo, all this stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and probably overnight some fittings and some other stuff. And
I'd like you to see running tomorrow.
Yeah, no, it should fire up tomorrow, and maybe we could take it for, you know, I want to see what those cams sound like for sure with the new cams, and then again try to make it to the dyno. All right, guys, back over here. Another day. We just got our overnight parts. We got some vibrant fittings and things, and we got a little 90-degree coupler for down there. Where's that? Where's that one at? Right here. These things are freaking ridiculous. They're just how much?
$50.
More, yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, but they're quality.
They are really nice. Anyhow, we have a 30-degree 16 and fitting, and then so I went ahead and kind of marked that. So still, we should have technically got two, but they only had one in stock that I was able to overnight. So, and then I should have got one for down there too. But you know, you'll get that. So we got these cutters right here. Check these out. So these look like you're gonna go outside and cut your trees, your hedges, or something like that. And they actually work really good for AN lines. You have to get the right ones though. I got the ones from
It's like folded in there.
I got the ones from, where was it? I got the ones from Harbor Freight, and they don't work very good at all. So these ones, they suck, but these ones, Vibrant sells a kit like this. These ones I got from like 1320 Performance. Basically the same people that make this manifold on eBay. So we're gonna see if this is the right right size then, and then maybe we'll have some radiator tubing. We also got some brass fittings down there to block off this little coolant thing. But basically, as long as we make these lines, make some intercooler piping, put the injectors in it, fire it up, it's ready to rip. And so messing with the intercooler right here. Got this lower line on, look at that, 90-degree. This thing swivels right there. It's a straight, kind of dips down a little bit. We got the oil drain right there. And then, so we got the Vibrant 90-degree coupler right here, and then we have a 45-degree coupler right there. But, as you can tell, it's skinny right here and it's big right here. So we have this piece of aluminum tubing, 3.5 inch, and it's actually really beautiful. It like looks machined. Look how thick that is. But like all the edges are just beautiful. Like they don't even scratch you or cut you. Really nice pipe. I don't know. I'm really impressed by that pipe. Looks like it's would be really nice to weld too. Really thick. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and cut some pie cuts out of this, and we need to weld in a intake air temp sensor anyhow. So we're already gonna be welding stuff. We might as well weld some freaking pipe. I haven't fired up the TIG welder in a little while and messed with pipe, and that actually made it pretty. I did a little bit on that for the Ranger, but I'd like to make some beautiful.
I'll just make it pretty while you're in the office, and you don't have to worry about it. Yeah. Yeah, we forgot some bolts in the thing.
What one?
Yep.
On the bottom of the oil pan. Yeah, that was me. I don't know.
Okay.
They're somewhere. But yeah, here we are. We gotta do some tubing, and then we also have to make the intercooler piping for right here, because normally I had it where it was going around the side over here, whereas now it goes straight in. So we're gonna make some progress eventually. Maybe this thing will be on the dyno next month, probably when the snow's flying or whatever. we'll run an 8-second pass. We'll have to drive all the way across the country
Just
to
to run an 8-second pass.
just to run an 8-second pass, and then it'll be in Florida, so that won't really count.
Nope.
Look at that pipe, though.
Yeah, go ahead and fuck up your lens while you're doing that.
It's a really nice pipe.
Yeah, really nice lens.
Check it out. Look at that. Wow.
What does it look like?
It just looks like just like you. That's it. All right, guys. So we got our piece of pipe right down here on the ground, and so I'm going to show you guys a quick trick on how to get some decent pie cuts, or at least you know, kind of help trying to make these things as even as possible. So check this out. So I got a level just here on the ground, and we're just going to set a baseline of just a nice straight line across it. So now what we need to do is basically measure 1.5 inches or 1 3/4. So that's where that'll be right there. Let's see. So we need 1 3/4 on the other side. So we measure 1 3/4. So that way it's sitting there at 1 3/4, and then we're gonna come right here, do the same thing, and we're just gonna basically make a nice line across it. Make sure it matches on both sides. Right there, you can see I have it angled down because this level is actually it's like 2 1/4 inches. So we're just gonna mark that down in the hole. And so what that's gonna do is it's gonna give us perfect, basically 90 degrees. So when I'm setting up the, here, watch, you wanna go ahead and film this for me?
Yeah.
So now we have a line on this side and a line on this side, and they're basically perfectly, you know, diagonal across from each other. So then what I do, it doesn't have to be like 100% perfect. I've got away with it. I used to have a like an angle finder. So right here on the chop saw we have 0, 5, and 10 degrees, and I basically go right under 10 degrees to get a 9-degree angle, essentially, because if you do 2 9-degree angles on here, then you have an 18-degree angle, and that's kind of how these things start. So if you're going to do a pie cut, what you want to do is start out with this end one, so this is flat, and then you'll do a 9-degree angle on here, so this will be 9 degrees. Then you do another 9-degree angle on the opposite side of it. You rotate the pipe around, so then you have an 18-degree angle of pie. And then what ends up happening is you do it again, and then you have another 18-degree, and then if you cut it straight, and then you have another, basically a 9-degree pie. And you could do 4.5 degrees, kind of do a gradual thing, and it just kind of depends on the angle. We're trying to go with a really tight radius on here. And so basically now I'm going to stick it over here in the chop saw, measure up from the bottom, make sure that that line is at 1 3/4. Tighten this thing down and send it. I guess basically just mark it right there. Like I said, it doesn't have to be like 100% perfect. It can be if you want it to be. The chop saw kind of makes a mess, so you have to clean it up. I wish we had a bandsaw. Well, we do, but it just sucks. The blade falls off it all the time. I think Dave borrowed it, and Dave was using it, and he, you know, made sure it didn't work for me.
Like everything else he uses and borrows and brings back.
Yeah, he made sure it didn't work for me. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Let's see. Then you could also measure too. So what you could do is you could say, okay, I want to stick this thing right here and measure 1 inch from the blade every time, and then you have, you know, what would you say, congruent pieces of pie because they're all the same. Yep, 1 inch right there. Give that guy the pinch. And you need the safety glasses, Sean?
You squint your eyes, buddy.
No, I'm not doing that. Oh, these are clean. These are, I could see everything through that. So we got these. Yep. We got these. Double up. It's hot. That piece. You ready for this one now?
You want to stop filming?
No, keep going. Stick that bastard here.
27. When did we put a new blade on the chop saw?
When?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. A nice piece of pie. And then it works out too. Now we have that line on there, so we know. I really don't want to touch this bastard. Guys, so figured out this intercooler piping right here. Basically what we did is we cut it shorter, scooted out the intercooler. Actually, we didn't even move the intercooler. Basically cut that clamp shorter, and now it works. Put that thing in there, put an IAT bung in it, and now it is ready to rip. We have a throttle cable on there ready to go. We have all this stuff. This side is good to go. We have the TPS wired. Now, what else do we have to do? Oh, we put the exhaust on it. Basically now, Sean is just plugging in the ECU. I have to mount this battery a little bit nicer, and then we're gonna fire this thing up, take it for a rip. Ready? How's it going down there?
Yeah.
Great, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard a nice connection. Hey, look for the wideband plug.
Yep. Oh, yep. See where that's at.
It might be under the throttle pedal. I don't know.
Trevor, what are we doing, buddy?
All right, so I just put the ECU back in here. So the cool thing about having an ECU master is if you have another car that you want to run on it, you just, obviously you can't drive two cars at the same time, so you could pull an ECU out and basically save $1,000, put it in another car, then when you need your ECU back, you just go rob the ECU. So I think I have like 3 of these things floating around now. So now we just kind of rotate the ECUs. I just make sure to save them right before I pull out. So I pulled this ECU out, we put it in the S14 before the grid life with the 3UZ, and because this thing was just not doing anything. So now I just went ahead, swapped all the tables. I set the different throttle position sensor, set that up in here, like the max voltages and stuff. It's got fuel pressure. Everything looks okay. Seems like it's happy. We already primed the fuel system. I don't think there's any leaks. And so now,
let's fire it up.
I think we're just gonna fire it up. Are you ready? This is first fire.
Oh, how's that battery doing? Jump box. Go ahead.
Ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
That battery.
When it's cranking, so it's
Throw the charger on that battery.
Throw the charger on the big battery?
On the big battery, yeah.
how's it sound? Huh? I think it's okay. Alright guys, so I think everything's pretty much buttoned up. We got coolant in it, it's pressurized, the fan works, all that stuff, everything seems to work. Check the fluid levels. I think it's ready for a little rip.
Let's go ahead.
We got a hose clamp on here.
Yep.
Basically I don't even know what's going on outside in the parking lot, but basically the new landlords, the new owners of the shop are having basically the parking lot redone. And so you can see they basically dug ditches, or they had a company come out and they basically had a mill on a Bobcat, and they milled out all this stuff. So this is how we have to get out of here. So normally we just drive in and out of here, but there's a big ditch right there, and basically the whole way up front. So what I think we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to drive around the back of the building, through the dirt, over there. There's another spot to go out in the dirt over there, through here, and then we should be good to go. So first drive. Good thing this thing's 4-wheel drive, huh? So we don't get stuck.
Yeah.
Good thing it's 4-wheel drive.
No problem.
Yep, you can't whoop me. All right, let's go. All right, boys. First drive, let's see if this thing starts. Won't start off the battery. That's good. Oh, let's see. See what kind of boost we hit. 28. So that was 14 pounds of boost on the launch. Well, it took a little while to get up there though. Look at that ramp. All right, guys. So first drive was, I would say it's pretty successful. We didn't have any real big issues. I think we didn't get the cooling system completely bled, so it got a little bit warm after we did a pull. It got up to like 230, and it kind of started coming down a little bit after that. But there's probably just a big bubble in the system. So once it cools off, tomorrow, basically try to get that figured out. Overall, I'm just going to leave the hood off. I'm going to leave the front bumper off and all that other stuff. The battery is having a hard time kind of staying charged, so probably need to throw the jump boxes on there and kind of have those ready tomorrow at the track. And like I said, so tomorrow, plan is to take this thing to the track. It's not like an official event or anything like that. It's kind of, I guess they're kind of having an official event there, but they're doing test and tunes as well. And it goes from 9 a.m. in the morning until 6 p.m. in the afternoon. But here in Colorado, it gets pretty cold at night, and they're not really going to start until the track temps get above 65 degrees. So what we're going to do is come here in the morning, throw the slicks on it, load it in the trailer, and basically head out to the track with it and see if this thing will run a, hopefully run an 8-second pass tomorrow. I ultimately wanted to try to get this thing on the dyno before we did that, but we should be, with all the logs and everything, we should be okay. We just didn't have time. There's just so many random little things like the intercooler piping and the hoses and the fittings and the extra wiring and the little things like that. Everything just took kind of a lot longer than we expected to come together, but pretty much where it is now. We'll add some extra zip ties on it tomorrow. Yeah, the log and everything seemed good, so we might play with a little bit of the cam timing and stuff for the variable valve timing, and then hopefully we get this thing on the dyno then the next week or month or whenever, I don't know, but yeah, I want to see what this thing will do at the track. So wish me luck. Wow, 20 pounds has never felt so freaking ridiculous in this thing. That is nuts. Holy crap. Well,